I let Manus AI create this VSL script, and as soon as it went live, it has generated over $10 million for a client on its funnel. And the reason this VSL is printing money is because of this one single mega prompt. We inserted into Manus AI that will do all the work and write you a money printing VSL that you're just gonna insert on your funnel and start printing money. However, before we can even get to the prompt, if your VSL doesn't answer those 6 questions, then you're gonna burn your money and time. And those 6 questions are: how is this different from everything else I've seen? What's in it for me? How do I know this is real? What's holding me back? How does it work? What do I have to lose? Those questions are important because they will serve as your backbone to your VSL that will pre-handle and melt any objection any potential client is watching, which will ultimately increase your conversion rate on the funnel to the roof. And later in this video, I will tell you exactly how to answer those questions without any guesswork. And I actually have a lot of other several tactics in this video that I'm going to cover that I'll guarantee you no one on the internet or YouTube will tell you. But I promise if you do not watch this video till the end, you will simply not unlock the secrets of writing a high converting VSL. That will ultimately print you money, which I'm going to explain line by line here. With the VSL, it's really crucial to start with a market call out, where you will call out your most ideal client by their problems, desires, and current pain. Here's a couple of examples. If you're a realtor closing at least one deal per month on homes above $500,000, take a look. Here's another call out. If you're a closer losing sales to partner objections, listen up. Here's another call out. If you're an agency and cannot generate more than 30 to 50 calls per month for your done for you or your coaching offer, you should listen to this. The more specific you can go here, the better your VSL will perform. And more importantly, the more qualified calls you're going to generate, specifically when you start running ads to call traffic. The biggest mistake here, which I see a lot of B2B funnels do, is that their VSLs do not start with a call out. And this is by far the biggest mistake because all you want to do on your funnel is disqualify visitors instantly and get rid of them, especially when you start running ads to cold traffic. Because when you start running cold ads, you will receive a lot of shit and trash traffic to your funnel. And if you do not have a component in your VSL that calls your customer out instantly or your ideal client, you will get unqualified leads, which will lead to lowering your sales team's close rate. And a special bonus here is to add a written description above the VSL, which is calling out your audience in your written format. For example, for agency owners doing above 25K per month only. The second part of your VSL should contain the state offer and the new opportunity mechanism, which will only highlight the one most emotionally compelling detail of your offer. Only. And here's what I mean, and please pay attention. Our agency crafts funnels, ad creators, copy, ad management, email sequence, and even VSLs. However, in all of our marketing and our YouTube, our offer is we help agencies and high-ticket B2B brands scale to $5,000 to $10,000 a day in ad spend while acquiring clients for 1 to 2K CAC predictably and profitably. Now, why is that? It's because this is the deep, emotionally compelling, detailed desire of my audience, and that statement will attract them to come to my funnel and potentially book a call without me mentioning anything else related to my offer or any other service. And it's that one emotional outcome that your audience deeply desires that you should insert into your VSLs and offers. In my case, acquiring clients for $1,000 to $2,000 CAC predictably and profitably. That's the gold statement right there that will emotionally hit, that will have an emotional trigger when my prospects are reading this, because I know those keywords stand out. Here's another perfect example of an offer I saw. We'll guarantee you to generate you an extra $7,000 per day in organic sales or you don't pay. And notice how this offer tied organic views to actual sales, not impressions, not likes, not even comments, shares, which is the potential outcome any client wants at the end of the day. Now, here's where it gets really good. Right after stating the one big thing your market wants, you want to eliminate the downside and answer the question of what will happen if they do not achieve the outcome by providing a guarantee. Now, of course, you are definitely familiar with this because everyone by now should have consumed the book $100 million Offers by Alex Hormozi, right? Although this might seem simple, but I guarantee you that I've seen hundreds of B2B offers out there that are doing fairly well, but the simple reason they cannot scale is because they're too afraid to attach a guarantee to their offer. But this is a topic for another video. Here are some templates you can literally steal I've seen work for other markets. You want to state your one big thing or you don't pay. We'll guarantee you that one big thing, and if you don't at least get the desired results, we'll refund you in full, no questions asked. We are legally obligated to refund you what we paid you to join initially in full, no questions asked. We'll work for free. We'll pay you XYZ. We'll pay you $1,000 for wasting your time. All of those risk reversals. And these two parts that I just mentioned should have at least answered the first two questions out of the six, which is how is this different from everything else I've seen? And what's in it for me? Moving on, the VSL has to have a proof of claim, which will handle the concern of how do I know this is real? Naturally, after making a huge claim, people will default to bullshit or skepticism. And we must change that immediately by proving our claim beyond any doubts. And the easiest and most natural transition from the offer guarantee section into the results proof of claim section is through a compelling reason why you're offering that guarantee. Here's an example. Now, why am I offering such a crazy guarantee like this and really putting my neck on the line? This is a really famous quote. And here is where you follow up with your track record and results you have generated, which will play a big part into that proof of claim concept. Here's an example. Now, why am I offering such a crazy guarantee like this and really putting my neck on the line? It's simple. You can look at our track record. We helped John achieve this big outcome without common objection. We also helped Selena achieve this one big outcome without common objection. We also helped Josh achieve this big outcome without this big objection in a certain time frame. Ideally, what you want to present is your top 1% case studies, because when you speak to that top 1%, naturally you're going to attract the rest. And after that, we follow of what we said before by a light CTA in the early stages of the VSL, which will state the beliefs that your market needs to believe to be true in order for them to buy from you. And these beliefs can be, this works, this specific approach is the best, they're practicing what they're preaching, if I don't get results, I don't pay, and any other big beliefs your market needs to believe to be true. And these beliefs should stem from your market research and all the sales calls you have taken, which we will talk about this later on. Here's an example. Now, if this is all what you need to hear and you're thinking, okay, I know this works. I know I need to book more calls or achieve certain outcome in order to, scale my business. And I know you've done this before yourself and it works. Then click the link below and book a call. And again, we're not going to hard sell you on this thing, because if you do not get this one big benefit, and we'll have to refund your money. This is where you insert your guarantee. Here's another example. If you're an agency and a high-ticket B2B brand and want to scale to $5,000 to $10,000 a day in ad spend while acquiring clients profitably and predictably at a $1,000 to $2,000 CAC, and then email me below and I'll help you out. This is my offer as a CTA, but for real, if you do want my help, just email me. Moving on to the most important part of the VSL mechanism, which is the unique mechanism. To create a high converting unique mechanism, we need to answer those two questions from the prospect's perspective. Number one, why hasn't this worked for me so far? And number two, how does it work? Both of these questions tie in together, and here's how to answer them. Here's an example from a 16-word sales letter. It says, how is this different from anything else I've seen? It's the only indicator in the world that helps you get into the trade before the news is published. Why hasn't this worked for me so far? The real problem is that you get into the trade before the news is published, and by the time you get in, it's already too late and the big gains have already been made. The key here is you want to take the blame off your prospect's shoulder and put it into old opportunities they have tried before. This sentence is gold. I'll say it again. The key here is to take the blame off your prospect's shoulder and put it into old opportunities they tried before. Let's take us, for example. How are we different? We craft VSLs, which is built on the back of how the brain is structured, the way our marketing message bypasses the usual walls we put up, and ultimately pushes the client to book a call with you. Why hasn't this worked for you so far? The real reason why haven't you been able to consistently book high qualified calls is because you've been saying the same thing over and over again. Any other agency or business in your industry is saying, which is as soon as your ideal client consumes your message, they immediately categorize you into another agency or I've seen this before. And they immediately ignore you subconsciously. And what happens is when your prospects categorize you, you have lost the game, because categorization is that. See, I just sold you there to writing you a VSL. Now here's some steps to writing a unique mechanism. Let's make this super simple. To create a unique mechanism, the secret method that makes your offer different is that you only need to follow a few easy steps, which is step number one. You got to know why your method works, right? Before you name anything fancy, you got to ask yourself, why does my method actually work? What makes it different? What results does it create? If you don't know this, your audience won't know it either. Moving on to step two, you gotta look at your competitors. Not to copy them, but to know exactly what not to say. Ask yourself, what is their method? How does it work? What do they promise? What do people complain about? Are they fixing the real problem or only the surface problem? Because if you do not know what the people are already hearing, you cannot sound different. And step number three, you got to look at your delivery, which is the secret sauce. You got to now zoom in on your own process. And you want to ask, what do you do step by step? Why do you do it that way? What did you add or change that others don't do? Why is your way easier? Why is your way faster? Why does your way create better results? This is where the unique mechanism comes from, not from a cool name, but from what actually makes your approach better. And keep in mind, right? Keep in mind, if you do not have those questions answered, then you might want to, change up your product. Again, a title for another video. Now, here's a simple example so you can understand. Most agencies say something like this: we'll write you a VSL for you. But everyone says that, and it's nothing new and it's nothing special. But let's say you do something completely different. You take another approach. Instead of writing the VSL by hand, you've actually built your own AI model. And this AI model isn't ChatGPT. It's a mix of Manus AI, ChatGPT, and Claude, all stacked together. And here's the most important part: this model has been trained for over a year by the top VSL coaches and copywriters in the world. Their scripts, their training, their books, their logic have been fed directly to this model every single day. So now, instead of guessing or instead of writing a good VSL, your model can read someone's offer, understand their pain, understand their market, and spit out a full VSL with the same logic elite copywriters use. And because this model is trained so well, you can confidently say, we'll build your VSL using our own custom AI, VSL GBT model. It's powered by Manus, ChatGPT Claude, trained over a year by the top VSL's coaches and copywriters over the world. And here's the best thing: it's being fed every day by VSL scripts that are actively generating $10 million, and it's being updated in real time. And if your opt-in rate doesn't jump by 40%, you don't pay a single dollar. That's the unique mechanism. See how we went from we'll write you a VSL to all of what we said here. It's simple, it's clear, it's believable, and it instantly shows why you're different. And also, it shows why you're better than everybody else. I know by this part you're a little bit confused, and that's why you should go back to this section and rewatch this video so you can understand the mechanism behind every single word I'm saying. So you can really drill this down into your brain and understand the fundamentals of it. But don't worry, later on this video, we're gonna use all of this info and feed it right into Manus AI. So you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just understand it. Moving on to results. After explaining how this new approach works, this acts as an indirect claim. So we want to immediately go into another set of results which prove what we just claimed to actually be true. These results must not be the same as the results we mentioned at the beginning of the VSL. However, if you do not have a big chunk of client results, you can always recycle them into the VSL, or you can actually skip that part. Here's some examples, and that's exactly how one of our clients, John, went from common current state to ultimate desired outcome, and it was directly by insert the mechanism you've just explained. And another one of our clients have tried the same mechanism to go from this to this into a certain time frame. And see how we're actually dissecting every client result, but we're just wording it differently so we can really promote our unique mechanism and show it works. And last but not least is the strong call to action, which answers the sixth question, which is, what do I have to lose? If the prospect is still watching this VSL, it means all of his questions and objections have been answered. If you did all of the previous sections correct, and they're most likely sold on your solution. Now, all of it's what's left to do is really hone in for them to book a call and show them that there is nothing to lose by doing so. Here's an example. And again, if you do not see these type of results in your business or whatever you help them with, then you don't pay. As I previously mentioned, you got to now restate the explanation of your guarantee, which you alluded to in the previous guarantee section. If this sounds interesting and you want to insert the ultimate desired goal, then click the link right below this video and schedule in a call. And remember, we're not going to try to incentivize you to do anything that you not want to do or does not make sense for you to do, because otherwise we'll have to refund you anyway. So click the link and schedule a call. And magically, by the end of this, you should have at least answered all of those questions. How is this different from anything else I've seen? What's in it for me? How do I know this is real? What's holding me back? How does it work? And what do I have to lose? Now, where does Manus AI come to play? Because I'll be showing you how to plug all of this and paste it into Manus AI, which will spit us the perfect VSL script. you can use on your funnel to start printing money. The best thing about Manus, it's completely different than ChatGPT and any other AI that actually exists. Manus is a credit-based LLM, which is an independent agent function. It's different from Claude or ChatGPT in that it's credit-based. That means that it will actually read all of the data and context you provide. So you can literally insert dozens and dozens of sales call recordings, transcripts, and documents, and you can guarantee that Manus will go through them every single word by word since it is credit-based. But ChatGPT will tell you, hey, I went through this all and it will lie. Now, why is this important? What we'll do here is we're going to attach all the sales recordings and transcripts into Manus AI with this document that it's going to be linked in the description, because the last thing you want to do here is guess. Guessing to craft a potential offer and a VSL is a death trap, because as much as you know, the best copy comes from your client's mouth. All the objections and the concerns they texted or said to you or to your closer is said in the exact same sentences that Manus AI will use to create the VSL script. Now, if you do not have the sales call recordings, always record your sales calls, and two, ask your current clients those golden questions. Then you can insert the prompt into Manus. And again, this exercise is so important because I can guarantee you every VSL we wrote for a client that ended up generating a lot of money was simply because they gave us answers to those questions that I'm going to say that ended up feeding Manus AI to create these VSLs. And these answers came from their clients' mouths. Again, I can guarantee you this, if you're going to take one part out of this video, is that the best copy, word for word, was generated by our client's mouth. We literally didn't have to edit any statement they said. We just took a certain copy or an objection or a sales call and we inserted it into our ad. That's why this exercise is so important. So here's the list of questions you can ask your clients if you do not have sales recordings to get answers that will literally help us craft our 7 to 8 figure VSL. And by the way, you can find all of those questions linked in the description. There's literally hundreds of them. And how you do this is you approach your clients and tell them, hey, I'll give you this voucher or $100 or like $1,000 in service for free if you just fill out this form. It's gonna take them like a half an hour to an hour, but this is the most valuable asset other than money that you can get from your clients. We got questions like, what's their current situation before they move forward with you? What's the number of things that was pissing them off about their system? What's the desired outcome? What they've tried before? And like other detailed questions. But again, you can find all of that list linked in the description. Now here comes the part where you were waiting for, which is how we're going to paste all of this to Manus and what prompt we're going to use. Again, you can find this big ass prompt literally linked in the description. You can just go copy this big ass prompt and paste it into Manus AI. And what you want to do once you actually insert that big ass prompt, you will literally want to grab the document that I shared with you in this video, which is again linked in the description, attach it to the prompt and also the answers of the questions you got, and attach it to the prompt as well, and press enter, and you're gonna literally receive your 7 to 8 figure VSL right in front of your eyes. And voila, you have a full written VSL script, which of course you gotta go through at your own pace and you gotta edit some words out because AI is not perfect. There's going to be a little bit of stuff that you're going to tweak in and out, but overall, Manus has been able to do a really great work in literally creating magic. This format and structure and the VSL, everything that I'm talking in this video took me years to master. And as well, this video is inspired by the top mentors in the space. And going through my experience of working with ClickFunnels and Fortune 500 companies since I was literally 16 years old. And I've been able to achieve this point with literally 6 to 7 years of work, and you're getting it on a couple of minutes of a YouTube video. So if you do want to scale your agency or B2B offer with paid ads and acquire more clients profitably, we'll write you the whole VSL, funnels, emails, and even film the ads for you. So you don't have to do anything, and all you have to do is take the sales call. This is, of course, if you already have an agency that wants to scale paid ads, and all you have to do is just email me and apply to work with me in the description. But here's the thing, creating a VSL will almost be completely worthless if you do not have the filtering application technique on your funnel, because it's like pouring this whole water into an empty bucket. So before you even consider writing a VSL, watch this video